Hello, Sean Atwood here, London-based author and activist. This is part 4 in the Weinstein video series, Will He Survive Rikers? Well, he's only going to survive Rikers if he ever bloody well ends up there. And parts 1 to 3, Weinstein has been playing the sickness card, as well as stepping around in his Zimmer frame and pretending to be a shrunken version of his former overgrown super predator rapo self to get pity and special treatment and protection and safety so that he can be hiding out, waltzing around the medical facility and not getting any interaction with the gang members, because with the gang members sex offences are KOS, kill on sight. So in this video we'll talk about his latest theatrics, how he is now at Rikers, and I'm also going to talk about some of the jurors' deliberations. Some inside information has come out, and then I'm on my way to my sister's book launch in London. My sister Karen Atwood has a book, Girl with a Gun. It's about a woman, a freedom fighter out of Iran who got the death penalty. If she ever goes back to Iran, they're going to execute her. So it is a really good project and a gripping story. It is available worldwide on Amazon. If you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the description box below this video. So going over to Weinstein then. So he's had this stent operation which took 4 hours. Now one of my co-defendants, Wildman, he had a stent operation, if I remember correctly. And armed guards in Sheriff Joe Arpaio's jail took him to the hospital. They've got the pistols ready to whip him out and shoot him if he does anything funny. Compare that to what Weinstein, how he's getting treated. Let's take a look, shall we? So, it was a 4-hour operation at the Bellevue Hospital in Manhattan. And now he's been transferred to Rikers Island. He's 67 years old at this point. He had been due to go to the North Infirmary Command at Rikers, but then he was diverted to the hospital after he complained of high blood pressure and heart palpitations. That's how he ended up in the medical unit. So he underwent a 4-hour surgery on Wednesday night to have the stent put in, and then departed for North Infirmary Command at around 2 p.m. So he's still going back to Rikers, but back to the medical unit, not to the gang-infested area of the prison where Khalif was housed. If you've not seen the story of Khalif, it's on Netflix. You will quickly understand what Torture Island is about. Rikers, Khalif, the guards even handcuff him and attack him while he's handcuffed. It's horrendous. And guess who produced that documentary? Harvey Weinstein. Would you believe it? So many people sent messages to me after the last video saying, Sean, are you aware that Harvey produced the story of Khalif? So no wonder he's playing the sickness card. He knows firsthand what Rikers is all about from his own documentary. Yeah. So his author is saying that poor Harvey is not a picture of good health. He's depressed, he's sad. He's not going to get any pity from the rest of us. Let's put it that way. The Department of Corrections are saying he's being treated like any other prisoner, even though sources are saying he was free to roam around the hospital, supposedly under the protection of the Department of Correction Emergency Service Unit officers. Source says Harvey does not want to go to Rikers, quote, but the spokesperson saying he's emotionally down, mentally down, he's in prison. It's a very bad place. He hasn't even tasted prison yet. His inmate number is 065811138Z. Usually each state has a Department of Corrections website. You can put in the name and inmate number, and it will give you some information about the prisoner, and information about the prison and the prisoner. like if they've got disciplinary tickets, if they've got a work assignment, things like that. Usually it's publicly available information. So lawyers were asking for him to be sent to the North Infirmary Command with the sick prisoners, which means Harvey will be protected from the general population. He's taking medication and requires injections in his eyes, and his back surgery went bad. Well, not bad enough to make him restrain from all these predatory acts. You should have thought about that. A former jail official is predicting Harvey will end up in a double-sized private cell with his own TV, shower and bathroom, and possibly a phone too. I'm going to throw up all over my stomach. How disgusting. It's not the cleanest, Melissa Allen, a mental health counsellor who's treated people at the infirmary, said. It's a very old jail. A lot of people complain about the smell. It has an old basement smell. I would think if you had to be at Rikers Island, you might prefer the infirmary, said Lisa Pelosi. But it is definitely not a pleasant place. 400-acre jail complex opened in 1932. It is quite ancient. And we know it's called torture school and all the rest. So let's go over now and look at what the jurors... What's coming out about the jurors' deliberations? Because I think he should have had even more guilty verdicts. And I imagine a lot of you guys think that too. So 3 members of the jury that convicted Weinstein are offering this inside look. And this is really boosting the Me Too cause. It was at Manhattan Criminal Courts building on Feb 8th that the 12 jurors commenced their deliberations. And it took them 5 days for them to find guilty on 2 counts. And I won't say the names of all the counts because there's just going to be another demonetization problem with YouTube. You already know what he's guilty of anyway. So 3 of the panelists spoke anonymously to the New York Times. They said the process was physically and emotionally exhausting. Several jurors became ill. You are analysing your own morality as viewed by the law in a room of 11 strangers. It is a very stressful dynamic. That's a quote from one juror. There were 7 men and 5 women. Quote, everybody got a couple of minutes to unpack the last 5 weeks for everyone else. There were different opinions. We were not unanimous anywhere on the first day. And we got the victim Haley accused Weinstein of forcibly performing oral on her. Ciora accused Weinstein of assaulting her in the 90s. And the jurors were aware of the trial's significance to the Me Too movement, but tried to keep their focus on the evidence. They had to understand the legal definitions of each charge before breaking down the specific incidents, with the goal of answering 2 questions: did the assault occur, and did it meet the definition of a crime? They mapped out timelines for each incident and on whiteboards, scribbled notes also on large legal pads, and they had to rip the notes up to ensure that there were no leaks. The debates were mostly civil. Answering the 2 questions for each incident required trying to block out what one called the noise, which included the naked photo of Weinstein that was shown to the court, as well as 28 witnesses beyond the 3 accusers behind the charges. Prosecutor called in 3 other accusers to testify. That was to show the pattern of behaviour. The jurors didn't spend much time discussing those accounts, but it did lend credibility. Quote, each act happened the same way. Each person said the same thing. 2 of the jurors said the fact that Weinstein didn't testify hurt his case, and the friend called by the defence, Paul Felsher, was not helpful evil. Felsher, writer and intelligence agent, testified that Weinstein was a sex addict and his appetite for women was mildly, to put it mildly, voracious. What kind of witness was that? He threw him under the bus, a juror said. It didn't help the case at all. Just shows the mindset of these people, doesn't it, to bring someone in like that. The jurors said they also gave little weight to the fact that Haley and Mann maintained relationships with Weinstein after the attacks. Quote, "It was one instant, not a relationship that we were analysing." The first account examined by the jury was that of Haley, production assistant for Weinstein. Haley was convincing in that she remembered many specific details about the room in Weinstein's loft in Manhattan, the juror said, where she had been held down forcibly. First day of deliberations, they were asked to see a floor plan of the loft compared to Haley's testimony, which corroborated her story. Testimony was bolstered by the fact that she had declined his early advances, and the correspondence she had with him after the assault was focused on jobs. On Ciora's testimony, so Weinstein forced his way into her apartment and assaulted her. It was central to predatory assault charges. The jurors had to agree on two things: that Weinstein assaulted her and that he committed one of the other charged offences related to Mann or Haley. They took their time in trying to understand the charges and Ciora's role. There were doubts about her account because it did not fit the pattern of the other assaults. Mann, Haley and the three other accusers had all said they were assaulted after Weinstein lured them into meetings with a promise of helping their careers. Ciora was already established actress, and she said that he followed her home after a dinner party. Well, that doesn't surprise me. One of the jurors questioned her memory of the incident because it took place 3 decades ago and she was addicted to Valium at the time. It was difficult to eliminate doubt, quote. Then they turned their focus to Mann, who claimed he assaulted her in a hotel in Midtown Manhattan in 2013. Her account was the most complicated because she was in a relationship with Weinstein that continued after the assault. Quote, "We were kind of confused because she was in a relationship when it happened, and she went back and it happened again. In the end, we all felt the same way on her, we believed her. A reasonable person should have understood that she was not consenting to the act in question," noting how they explained to other jurors that it was possible for someone to be raped by a partner. They agreed that Mann had not consented to sex, determined that the crime did not amount to first-degree rape because no force was used. So they found him guilty of third degree, which does not require forcible compulsion. Their anxiety was high by the 5th day because it was clear they were close to reaching a verdict. They went around the room, polled each panellist and asked to take a break outside before writing down the complicated split decision for the foreman to announce in court. They rang a bell in the corner of the room to alert the judge. Weinstein maintained his innocence, but the jurors are saying they are confident that they did the right thing. And as we know, he's playing the system and trying to not get put out where he could end up like Khalif, getting handcuffed and assaulted by the guards, getting attacked by gangs of inmates, mayhem every single day. So, time for me to go now to my sister's book launch, A Girl with a Gun by Karen Atwood, available worldwide on Amazon. I will put the link in the description box. If you've not subscribed to the channel, if you're enjoying these videos, it's free to subscribe. Subscription logo bottom right hand corner. Huge thank you to all the people who've donated on PayPal, Patreon, Just Giving, Subscribestar, enabling us to keep all the videos flowing and for us to interview great guests with camera crews in professional studios. If you go in the description box, there's my Epstein playlist, my Weinstein playlist, my Royal Family playlist, my True Crime Podcast playlist. Hours and hours and hours of video content there, designed to inform and hopefully make some changes, but you also run risk of having nightmares because it is really dark stuff. Alright, take care out there. Cheers from London. Thank you.